For today's cup of coffee, this is a topic that Kid has bugged me about for days and that some may find hard to swallow.
Cannibalism.
Yeah.
I can never get enough ripping you up.
And you may be wondering as far as how this goes into the paranormal, supernatural, all that. This goes into a category all of its own, which is just weird.
It's just a lead. It's a spin-off from the Wendigo stuff.
That was what it was a lead into it.
It's just weirdness. That's all it is.
And it's just one of those that it did take a lot of research, because I'm not going to come on here and not have some kind of a source, even if it's Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Because actually, like I said, it depends on what you look up on Wikipedia.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't use it as a source in like a research paper that was an official research paper. But
yeah, you don't want that.
But actually, some of the sources that they use, you can then cross-reference, and some of those can be used in an actual research paper.
Yeah.
So it just takes more. I've been trained to do this, but I can't do the damn APA formatting. Screw your APA formatting.
Yeah, APA format is just Satan's child.
Well, what it is, it's like, if you go for a master's degree or something anymore, they don't want to know what you know. They want you to be able to regurgitate what somebody else knows, which is counterproductive, which is why that they're producing people that go out here in the world to try to do these jobs and don't know their ass from a hole in the ground.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rather than doing their own research and finding other shit that could be, useful.
Right. Because if you've got a practitioner, you don't care what somebody wrote in the psychological journal, 5 years ago, and they live in Brazil.
That goes for any practitioner.
Sure.
Medical practitioner, psychological practitioner.
Go to trade school, learn how to actually do things.
Yeah.
Make your own company, your own business.
Yeah.
So anyhow, and then maybe you will not have to resort to the cannibalisms.
That was big lightning.
It was big lightning. If it gets much bigger, we will transfer into the living room. Anyhow, from the Smithsonian magazine.com.
Just get right into the top.
We had,
We got metal pole right in front of us holding our camera. We got lightning rod in front of us.
Are you going to talk about the lightning? You're going to talk about the consumption of humans.
I know, but I just wanted to point that out, that we got this good tripod and it's made out of metal.
Yeah, well,
we got
don't hold on to it. Anyhow, this is. You really just did that. You really.
Hold on to it.
Oh my God! Something is in Aries and it is just eating him up. Pun intended. This is going to be puns. Filled with puns, because you just have to. Anyhow, SmithsonianMagazine.com. It's the article, "Human Flesh Looks Like Beef, but the taste is more elusive. It's like pork, or maybe veal." And this is by Rachel Nuwer.
It tastes like something.
And from February 3rd, 2014. And quote from her article: "Human flesh looks like beef, but according to the testimony of people who have actually eaten other people, the taste of human meat does not reflect its beef-like appearance. Both serial killers and Polynesian cannibals have described human as being most akin to pork. But not all cannibals agree with this description, and some say it tastes more like veal. It is speculated that the flavor of human would likely depend a great deal on how it is prepared and also what cut is sampled.
And who it is.
Well, I guess that's true, what they can say. The Azande tribe's human stew likely tastes entirely different from the deep-fried, parsley-strewn human genitals a Japanese exhibitionist artist recently served at a dinner party." Now, where the hell did he get that?
Black market? Killed someone, maybe?
I don't know. But anyhow.
Can I make Sweeney Todd jokes?
Is that what it is, that you're wanting to watch Sweeney Todd again? Is that what brought all this about?
Not at all. I just really wanted to make Sweeney Todd jokes.
Okay. Then from From the CDC, when you consume humans, this is something that as far as Kuru. And so we're going to go into the hows and whys and the diseases that can come from eating other people's.
It's mostly eating the brain.
Well, I'm getting to that. The CDC discusses prion diseases, or transmissible spongiform encephalitis. And these are a family of rare progressive neurodegenerative disorders that affect both humans and animals. They are distinguished by long incubation periods, characteristic spongiform changes associated with neurotonal loss, and a failure to induce inflammatory response. The causative agents of the transmissible spongiform encephalopathies, that's what's kind of concerning, is transmissible.
Yeah.
Are believed to be prions. The term prions refers to abnormal pathogenic agents that are transmissible and are able to induce abnormal folding of specific normal cellular proteins called prion proteins that are found most abundantly in the brain. The functions of these normal prion proteins are still not completely understood. The abnormal folding of the prion proteins leads to brain damage and the characteristic signs and symptoms of the disease. Prion disorders are usually rapidly progressive and always fatal. Yeah.
Not people. Brains.
Then also, the classic... let's see, what was it? There it is. It's Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. And it's a human prion disease. It's a neurodegenerative disorder, characteristics, clinical and diagnostic features. This disease is rapidly progressive and always fatal. Infection with this disease leads to death usually within 1 year of the onset of illness. So... But within this, it can take 10 to 50 years to manifest.
But with zombies, it makes the pain go away.
That's interesting.
They can feel
themselves
rot.
That would be interesting to see as far as the zombie lore within the... That comes straight from Hollywood, you know that.
Oh, yeah, it started from It literally started from...
Night of the Living Dead?
No. It started in Return of the Living Dead.
Okay, about the brains?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, this is what was interesting, there is variant Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. And the suspected variant, there are several characteristics. One, the current age or age at death is less than 55 years.
Huh.
A brain autopsy is recommended, however, for all physician-diagnosed vCJD cases. We have cats that are crazy.
It's Squeaker chasing after pancreas.
Okay. 2, psychiatric symptoms at illness onset and or persistent painful sensory symptoms, such as frank pain and or dysesthesia. And you might never know when you're going to have to diagnose somebody, or symptoms that could mean that they got Kuru.
Yeah. You never know.
3, dementia and development of over 4 months after illness onset of at least 2 of the following 5 neurological symptoms. Poor coordination. No, don't you look at me because my balance gets off. Myoclonitis.
Hello?
Hyperreflexemia and visual signs. If persistent painful sensory symptoms exist, over 4 months, delay in the development of the neurological signs is not required. Well, no. A normal or an abnormal EEG, but not the diagnostic EEG changes that are often seen in classic Kuru. Duration of illness of over 6 months. 6, routine investigations of the patient do not suggest an alternative non-Kuru diagnosis. 7, no history of receipt of cadaveric human pituitary growth hormone or a dura mater graft. That's stuff that means they can't lie. They've been eating brains.
Yeah.
8, no history of Kuru in a first-degree relative or prion protein gene mutation in the patient. So nobody else in the family being cannibalizing other people's.
Yeah. Don't eat the brains. Don't
Okay.
eat people.
This is interesting because with this variant, this can be, people can catch this from ingesting beef tainted with bovine spongiform encephalopathy. And that was a thing several years back, mad cow disease.
Yeah.
And what happened with that was that they were feeding vegetarian animals byproducts of other cows.
Which is fucked up.
It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Stupid people. Industrial farming.
Now, as far as the treatment of this, treatment of prion diseases remains supportive. That means we're going to hold your hand while you die. No specific therapy has been shown to stop the progression of these diseases. Then, going from Wikipedia, we have about Kuru. It's also known as laughing sickness.
Laughing sickness.
Due to the pathologic bursts of laughter, which are a symptom of the disease. It is now widely accepted that Kuru was transmitted among members of the Fore tribe of Papua New Guinea through funerary cannibalism. Deceased family members were traditionally cooked and eaten, which was thought to help free the spirit of the dead. Women and children usually consumed the brain, the organ in which the infectious prions were most concentrated, thus allowing for transmission of Kuru. The disease was therefore more prevalent among women and children. The epidemic likely started when a villager developed sporadic Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease and died. When villagers ate the brain, they contracted the disease, and it was then spread to other villagers who ate their infected brains.
Ugh.
It's disgusting. Yeah. And when the Fore people stopped consuming human meat in the early 1960s, when it was first speculated to be transmitted via endocannibalism.
It's now the 60s. Let's not eat
the disease,
humans. Let's not eat people. Let's just eat regular cows and veggies.
Well, they didn't have cows down there. That's the reason. Anyhow, the disease
Animals
lingered due to Kuru's long incubation period of anywhere from 10 to over 50 years. The epidemic finally declined sharply after half a century from 200 deaths per year in 1957 to no deaths from at least 2010 onwards, with sources disagreeing on whether the last known Kuru victim died in 2005 or 2009. Was Uber Eats a thing in 2010?
No.
Well, I was just wondering, maybe they had other alternatives.
Cue Poppy's meat.
Anyhow, there
Poppy's on meat.
is something called endocannibalism, and that is a practice of cannibalism in one's own locality or community. And then there is exocannibalism, and cannibalism is Greek for to eat humans.
No
Anyhow,
shit.
with endocannibalism, this is the consumption of flesh outside one's close social group, for example, eating one's enemy. When done ritually, it has been associated with being a means of imbibing valued qualities of the victim or as an act of final violence against the deceased in the case of sociopathy.
That's what the shrunken heads are for.
Well,
They were trophies.
Absolutely, as well as a symbolic expression of the domination of the enemy in warfare. Such practices have been documented in cultures including the Aztecs and the Carib. So this is, when you talk about sticking somebody's head on a pig pole, you may not have heard that, but I guarantee you the other people that are watching have heard that.
I mean, I've heard of that. I have.
And that is one of those things as far as, yes, come closer and this too can happen to you. Yeah.
Use your head as a bowling ball.
Well, that was there's theories that was the basis of football. It's called kick the Dane's head.
I wonder if the catacombs are part cannibalistic stuff, like people that died of cannibalism and stuff like that.
Which catacombs?
Like the Paris catacombs?
No,
or
I
something
think
like
that was just, it was a matter of burial practices. I don't think it had to do with cannibalism. Historically, it's also been used as a practical expediency in especially desperate guerrilla warfare, and when extreme hunger and the abundance of human beings killed coincide to create conditions ripe for cannibalism. Well, if you're out there on a battlefield, you have no way to get food, you've got enemy's body laying there, what are you going to do?
You're going to eat it.
Yeah. Some viewed the practice
Or
of
starve.
exocannibalism as an act of predation, which is predatory, trying the action to be more of a prey versus predator scenario than one of ceremonial meaning. Exocannibalism also has historically been viewed as a way to acquire the strength and ability of a defeated enemy. It serves as a final act to either intake or extinguish the existence of an enemy. Notably, the cultures that view exocannibalism as a form of predation do not view the act as taboo.
What?
That means as far
okay.
as if you're consuming an enemy, they don't view it as being wrong.
Okay.
Now, this is
I
not
guess
amongst
so.
all people. This is not amongst all people.
Yeah.
And again, this is where we need to
I mean,
cue...
it is their culture, so like...
Well, this is where we need to cue Alex Jones, I will eat your ass like corn on a cob. And list of incidents of cannibalism. And it's like the consumption of human flesh or internal organs by other peoples goes back as far as prehistoric times. And some anthropologists suggest that it was common in human societies as early as the Paleolithic. Historically, numerous tribe societies have engaged in cannibalism, although very few are thought to continue the practice today. Thought to continue. So in other words, we don't know whether they... It's like, did you consume your neighbor today? Oh, I know.
What about the old lady that ate people? She was an old lady.
Yeah, there's been several of them.
And she was here in the Americas.
Oh,
and she was carrying a head, I don't know whose head it was, in a crock pot to toss it out.
It says occasionally starving people have resorted to cannibalism for survival necessity. Let's see. More well-documented examples include the Essex sinking in 1820, the Donner Party in 1846 and 1847.
The Donner Party.
Donner, that was where they were going across the mountains trying to get to California, and they misjudged as far as when winter would hit.
Yeah.
And snow, that was just ridiculous. And the thing is, the few that survived, when people found out that they were part of that, I mean, they made their life a living hell. These people were not proud of what they had to do to survive. But, and again, that is a societal thing on all of that. I am not advocating for cannibalism.
I ain't either.
Let's see. And then we had the...
although, if anyone wants to eat me, I volunteer as tribute. We
had the soccer players from Uruguay, and when they wrecked, that was Flight 571. And that was another one that was remarkably sad, that these kids were up there and starving and... Yeah.
Poor children.
And it says some murderers, such as Albert Fish, Boone Helm, I can't even pronounce that one, Jeffrey Dahmer, are also known to have devoured their victims after killing them.
Jeffrey Dahmer, wasn't he the one that was remorseful for what he did?
Jeffrey Dahmer...
he was actually a very pitiful person.
He was a very pitiful person. And, it's not like what he did was right. But
no, I'm not saying that. But...
He did not want to be alone.
Yeah.
And that was the reason, as far as him drilling holes into the skulls of some of the victims and putting, Drano or something like that, where he was trying to not kill them, but almost making them zombie-like.
Right.
So that they wouldn't leave him.
Yeah.
And in some ways, he was very much doing the same thing as some of the other cannibals when they would eat the relatives. It was like taking in a part of that relative and making it part of you.
Right.
So that was part of the ritualistic cannibalism. Don't act like I ain't studied this on my own.
I ain't saying shit.
And let's see, they're saying that some people, there was this one guy, journalist William Seabrook, have legally consumed human flesh out of curiosity or to attract attention to themselves.
How did he obtain it legally?
I don't know.
How does one obtain human meat legally?
I don't know. It depends on what country you're in.
I want to know this. I'm curious. Like, how?
Well, that's like the German man, and I think that one had placed an ad on, was it like Craigslist or something?
Yeah. But he still got arrested. He got arrested
He
for
did
it.
get arrested. And even though the other one that was his request.
Yeah.
So I don't, you got to draw a line somewhere. Seriously.
Yeah.
And this was what was interesting also, and this is from an article by Peter Goeman, and this is from June the 17th, 2021. The Bible and Eating Humans Cannibalism. Because there is scripture about cannibalism. And Mr. Goeman writes, the closest the Bible gets to directly addressing this issue is in a few select prophecies to Israel that their sin will cause them famine and hardship, which would result in cannibalism during sieges. And like I said, I'm going to put the link so you can, as far as it's got the specific scripture in there. And so, however, none of these passages directly condemn eating human flesh. But the implication is that resorting to eating human flesh is one of the final judgments for sin. Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Well, hard times, and there's no grand...
I don't even know if I can make a joke now. That's fucked up. How much is fucked up? How much is too much fucked up? That's fucked up.
Yeah. Well, and this is one of those things that if somebody is starving, truly starving...
I can understand if it's that case. In that case, yeah, maybe it's not acceptable, but understandable.
Right. Right. Well, if you ever read...
I don't like that.
If you ever read the book by Pearl Buck, The Good Earth, it was, based in China and great famine. They've had lots of great famines. And that it wasn't about cannibalism in any way, but that the main female character, she cooked dirt.
That's fucked up. That's sad.
It's what it was. It's a...
in Africa, they actually have a thing called dirt cookies.
Well, it's what they had.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, they actually make food out of the dirt or whatever. The
book, The Good Earth, is something everyone should read. Because it's one of those... You do consume this book. It does become part of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you happy now about the insistence on knowledge about cannibalism?
Yes, actually. There's... just like a thing. There, of My Little Pony, right?
Yes.
So there is a fan creation, but it's also a creepypasta or whatever, called Cupcakes. That's a slippery slope. And basically Pinkie Pie, who's the most cheerful, happy character out there, she ends up killing all of her friends and basically turning them into cupcakes.
Well,
she's a very sadistic killer too. And then Muffins comes along.
I didn't go into like the animal world and stuff like that because as far as like spiders, for
spiders can fuck off.
The females in a lot of animal species, the males serve one purpose and then they can do whatever with them.
Yeah.
You know, consume them, bite their heads off, you know, different things like that. We have, as far as animals, when they get frightened or whatever, consuming their young.
Hamsters.
Hamsters are horrible about that. I saw that as a child, traumatized me. Oh my God.
That's why you buy male hamsters.
And it
Just male hamsters.
It truly was a horrific thing to see. Chickens, you know.
They will peck others.
If there's
the
one that's
ones.
weak or sick, absolutely. That's why they refer to it as the pecking order. And the thing is, if you do not get the dead bird out of there and they start to consume the bird, they will become cannibalistic, and then you know, you got to get rid of most of them because they will attack each other.
Yeah.
So.
It's Priest. Try Little Priest. Is it good? Or it's too good, at least.
Anyhow, the Sweeney Todd thing. I never did make it through even the second viewing of that
You
because
didn't?
I just couldn't.
Oh, come on.
No.
Where are you, love?
I think that is just the most horrific thing. It's one thing to willingly consume another person, but to have somebody have other people unknowingly consume people, that's beyond vile. I can't even think of a word for that.
It's evil.
Well, you know,
Evil.
Evil just doesn't quite express it on that. I mean, who would do that? They could not be human.
Demented.
Well,
Demented, evil people.
I just,
It's Priest. Have a little priest.
Well, and that goes back to the Wendigo yesterday. This is why when some of those people turned rogue like that, the only thing to do was get rid of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think Kid is done. I think this one has really gotten to him.
I mean, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why the Wendigos are a thing, because people eat people.
Right. Which is why you don't eat people. But if it were an extreme...
That's like literally there's a game called Until Dawn, and I have not finished that game yet. Probably will never. But I have watched walk plays all the way through, and it's fucked up. Fucked up. Fucked up. Basically, the first Wendigo was because the sisters fell, and one died, the other one did not, and resorted to consuming her sister, and then killed all the other people.
Well, that's what they do, apparently.
Yeah.
And with the Wendigos, you know, psychosis and different things like that. But if extreme hard times hit, don't eat the brains.
Don't eat the brains. Don't eat
the brains.
I would rather starve than eat a person. I really would.
Well, we say that when we have food in the house. It's easy to sit and think what you would do until you are, you know, faced with a crisis like that.
There's deer all year round. All year round.
Well, like I said, in the cases of the Donner Party and stuff, there was nothing. There was nothing. I don't even know if they could, maybe they didn't know to eat bark off trees or whatever.
You can eat bark off the trees?
You can make a tea out of white pine needles.
Oh.
You know. And it's like, if you're out in the desert and stuff like that, there is nothing. Sand. There's sand.
Eat glass. That's basically what
That's
sand
exactly.
is.
It's you know, pre-glass.
Yeah. Nope. I'm done with that.
He's done for the day. We will return to the aliens and sprites and all that good stuff.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, because sometimes reality is stranger than fiction.
I don't like that.
Not that we're saying that the supernatural stuff is fiction, but it's...
I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. And now I'm fucked up. I was already fucked up, and now I'm too fucked up.
You have dropped the F-bomb more in this video than any of the others.
Because it's fucked up. It's fucked up.
So
That's horrible.
I researched this for days. Do you
What?
understand now why it took me a minute?
Yes, that's... No.
Hey, at least I didn't
No.
include recipes.
Oh! Deep fried human eyeballs.
Oh, anyhow, folks, if you all have experienced the paranormal or supernatural, if you've had an encounter with UFOs or aliens, cryptids, wendigos, Bigfoot, whatever.
I swear, if you have consumed human flesh...
No, if you have been a cannibal, keep that to yourself.
If you have considerate, get some help.
If you have local legends, family legends, anything like that, send all that to us at cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com.
I need to go floss my brain or something.
And you all have a beautiful, blessed day. Stock up on actual food right now, folks.
I need a good brain bleaching. I want to go back to the smooth brain game.
Bye.
The smooth brain game. Go back.